we're probably a bit late to the party, but do you want to have a 30-second chat about Gibson and the whole Play Authentic fiasco from our friend Mark Agnesi?
I've kind of avoided this, so this should be fun. I had a lot of people ask me what I thought about it and whether or not it was a huge deal for me. I kind of see Gibson as just a big corporation that make guitars. So them suing somebody probably isn't out of character for a big company. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's hurt their reputation.
Yeah.
But I also feel like after seeing some of the NAMM stuff that's come out that most people have forgotten about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, already. Like, that's the beauty of YouTube and the internet. Like, things are forgotten quicker than just about anywhere else. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. But what about you?
Well, I think the weird thing for me is, for a long while, I love Gibson stuff, and there was that corporate sort of thing, and like they were suing PRS, and I don't think anyone sort of, well, I didn't care, because at the end of the day, yes, and I do believe intellectual property that's fair enough. It's their stuff, they've designed it, they have a right to protect it, absolutely, and they are a company that do employ people who, and by losing sales, you do impact like people's lives. So absolutely, but it's weird. It sort of shifted the focus on what was the main thing, which was guitars, right? And then when they had the new CEO, and all the reports came back that the guitars were amazing now, and you should check them out, and they're back to how they were. I was really excited for Gibson. And then when they had Mark come on, I was like, great, because he's big, he's a big personality.
Yeah.
And then this stuff happened. So it's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It's going up. Like,
Oh, totally.
I thought
The 2019 guitars have been great. And
exactly.
the reputation, quality control had gotten better. I think on the most part. I think a few people complained about certain finishes that were a bit weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, like my 2019 Flying V is one of my favorite guitars I've ever purchased. I love it. So yeah, it's definitely something that makes people you just sort of feel like,
yeah, exactly.
like you shake your head kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. I remember just going like,
That's right.
Yeah.
Just try and concentrate on building great guitars, and building guitars where the D and the G string stay in tune and all that sort of stuff. And it's funny, I had to smile. It's called the Les Paul Modern, I think it's called. It's got these push-pull, like all the four controls are push-pull. And I don't know, it just sounds like they can't decide what a Gibson Les Paul is.
Yeah.
We need to make it, and with these kind of weird finishes too, like they're trying to sort of PRS it a bit, I think, with these blues and other sorts of funny colours, whereas... Mate, when I think of a Les Paul, obviously if it's a custom Black Beauty, for example,
Absolutely.
or the bursts, the classic bursts and the lemon tea bag, whatever it's called, tea bag. Sorry, that's rude. But so and then 4 push-pull controls. So there's a bit of confusion there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, look, apparently they released a retraction of the Play Authentic video and whatnot, but. Yeah, I just think I'd hope that they would drop this silly lawsuit, and they should know by now. They went after Paul Reed Smith and they got smacked, and then they got really belted by the US Customs people for all that wood they had.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they were both teachable moments.
It's so strange because, like, if you look at PRS and what they're trying to do, it sounds like all they care about is making a better guitar.
Yep. Yeah.
And Gibson, with all its tradition and all its, everything that's beautiful about it, everything that we love about it, they should just just decide on a product line.
Yeah.
Like you've got your historic stuff, and then you've got the main line, and then that's it. No one, I know one guy who bought the robot Les Paul.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember it lasted him 6 months, and he was trying to sell it, and he could not sell it.
Yeah.
And but because why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? I think that was the thing with Henry, right? He was trying to, put all these technology in the guitar, which is really wrong way to go, because you've got a guitar that has so much history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
I think a big part of the problem, sorry to cut you off, I was just thinking, like, a lot of people felt like them suing Dean was, 30 years too late or 20 years too late as well. So that was, a bit of a shock to, I guess, most manufacturers. They don't even, while some of those shapes, I guess, are very similar, you're never going to confuse a Dean with a Gibson.
No, that's where.
No, yeah.
I played Dean Flying Vs. They're nothing like the one I've got.
I think the PRS single cut is closer to a Les Paul than any of the Dean stuff. So
Yeah.
is that the only thing that they sort of said?
If that's
They went
actually-
after this company that made a toy V with
Oh, what?
SpongeBob on it, right?
Oh, man.
It was like a toy manufacturer, and I don't know, they must have spent $1 million, I reckon, and then it all settled.
Wow.
Yeah, so you'd think they would learn by now.
They're just trying to bankrupt whoever they go out after,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, but it ends up shooting themselves in the foot because
Yeah.
they cough up $1 million that they could have spent on making good guitars.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. The focus on doing the guitars first and foremost. And
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe.
absolutely.
I don't know, they get more credibility if they weren't going after other guitar manufacturers, especially some of these boutique ones. Like, as soon as you have any guitar builder that's starting to do okay, one of the big companies will probably start
Yeah.
looking at them.
I mean, I don't know if Fender ever went after Tom Anderson or Grosh or Sir or whatever. They easily could, couldn't they? But maybe Fender are just focusing on putting out great guitars.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, Fender's still a corporation with
Yeah.
lots and lots of lawyers and all that sort of stuff. And we love their product, but we don't necessarily love their sort of, their corporate structure and their corporate kind of identity.
Yeah.
But maybe they just got their eye on the big picture. So Fender just surged ahead and Gibson just keep, putting all their energy into lifting up a boulder and then dropping it on their foot.
Yeah,
So,
clearly their marketing team got their
heads up their
act-
ass. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Fender kind of get that right.
Yeah, it's such a bad it's a bad thing for a company when I guess the suits get involved.
Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
when hey, you're a guitar company, just make great guitars. Like that
Yeah.
should be it. And look, I understand that the business people do need to be involved, but there has to be a cutoff at some point where it's like, no, let's just
Yeah.
do this. Like
Yeah.
Collings, for example, right? Amazing guitars.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any of that stuff. They let the product speak for itself, and that's what Gibson should have done. They just the new CEO came in, and the new guitars were apparently better. They should just gone with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guitar buying public, we're strange people. We sort of buy very emotionally.
Yeah.
Like I think about a 52 Tele or a 54 Strat or a 59 Les Paul or or an L series or something like that. And if they just should, you just concentrate on that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what gets us in, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Could it be that also, it's a quick way to make a few bucks is to take somebody to court if you win? I mean, how much more can Gibson release essentially the same kind of stuff year after year? And it's funny because NAMM's on, summer NAMM's on right now, and the hype around the next year's stuff is always it happens every year. Like they're essentially very similar guitars to the year before on the most part, right?
Yeah.
There might be some differences here and there, but it's interesting that a guitar company can stay in business, but everyone wants, or for this long, but they want the guitars that were made back in the day style.
Yeah.
It's always the way. I just wonder if there's going to be anything that makes us go, oh wow, this is something we haven't seen coming up.
Yeah.
I'm not too
Well,
sure
I guess,
whether there is.
I
any,
guess there is a smaller market for that, but it's always old.
yeah, but no one wants it with Gibson, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to buy something more modern, you'd probably go for a PRS or any of these other sort of, a Sir or something like that as well for any different, like if you want a Fender style one. So
Yeah.
But even with PRS, like even the new stuff, like, it's always a nod to, like the 594 is like a Les Paul with the toggle switch. The pickups are like PAF style. Like there's always, it's moving in a forward direction, but always with a nod to the McCarthy era and all that stuff, which is I don't know. I love Gibson, so Gibson, please stop doing stupid shit.